And today, a fantastic game between Magnus Carlsen White and Ivanchuk Black. This was played very recently in the World Cup. You can see Magnus on the left side with the white pieces in game 1 and Ivanchuk already in deep thought before the games begin. Now, this video is short, but we're going to break down the game and what makes Magnus Carlsen the #1 player against a legend of the game. Ivanchuk is certainly a force to contend with. And here we go. We're going to pause at the key moments and really break this epic fight between two legendary players. Now, in typical fashion, Magnus plays d4, and he likes to play knight f3. And I'm not gonna go in the opening, which is pretty classic here. And here we have a classic quiz Indian opening. Now, to make things interesting, of course, black would simply castle. But in this case, h4 is played. Now Ivanchuk take on c4, and we take back. And I'm gonna go quickly because Ivanchuk with black play all the best moves. And here e4 played to get the control in the center, but this position is 0.00 according to Stockfish. Even right here, the position is completely equal. But now, after 5 minutes, Ivanchuk play knight c5. Now, he could have played knight f6, because if you push e5, the knight comes here, and that's what the computer slightly prefers. But at any rate, knight c5 played. Why did Ivanchuk play this move? Well, he's attacking e4. And this is where the first critical moment of the game, and feel free to pause the video to discover what did Magnus play with the white pieces. And looking at the game live, I would have played a knight c3, right? Simply defending e4. But then black would take rook d8, you move the queen, bishop g4, let's say you play rook a d1, and now knight c4 attacks b2, attacks e3, black is certainly fine. Now the other move you may consider is rook e1. That's very logical. You're defending e4. Then again, rook d8, you move the queen, bishop g4 attacking the knight, knight b d2, and now what? Well, black is doing fine. Rook d3, that's defending by the knight on c5. That was Ivanchuk's idea, right? But yet, the queen moves, but look, after rook a d8, I prefer black, right? The rooks are very well positioned. We're attacking the knight on f3, and we may at some point try to attack here. So we're also threatening rook d2 if the queen moves. So we have a lot of play, and Magnus didn't like that. So here he played the amazing move rook c1. Does I win the game on the spot? Of course not, right? These are top grandmasters. But that is questioning and attacking c5. Can you take e4, right, with the knight? The answer is not really, because then you pin the knight, you have to defend f5, you develop, and here you're threatening to win back the pawn with an advantage. So black will continue like that. But this position, this is weak, this is weak. The knight can come on d4, so white has all the trump in this position. Therefore, here, after rook c1, Ivanchuk declined to take the pawn on e4 and went back to a6. His idea would be at some point he can play knight b4 or knight c7, e6. Alright, the game continues. And here, Ivanchuk continues with this plan of knight c7. The knight can come to e6, maybe later d4. This is his idea. But here he meets a great chance. This is very difficult to find, but f5 is a great idea, because if you take, then you're gonna damage the structure. So on f5, that's attacking e4. You can give a check. But look at that. You're attacking f3. Yes, white can win a pawn like that. But look at this counterplay on the f file. So this was a golden chance for black, not to win, but to play actively f5. Of course, f5 is a weakening move, so it doesn't come, to mind first because you're weakening, queen b3, like I shown, and the king. But you have enough counterplay. At some point, you're gonna take here and do pressure here. If Ivanchuk had played f5, it would have been no worse. Instead, he goes back with a plan of knight a6, c7. That gives white a free hand. a4, threatening a5, knight c8 played, a5 anyway, and here Ivanchuk had to play a6 or rook fe8. Instead, he takes on f3. That is trying to exchange pieces, but that doesn't help black. And now, rook a4. Very nice move. We can see that Carlsen played h4 very early on, and he played a4 and a5. That gives him some more space, and with that additional space, he can really start to put some pressure on black. Rook fe8, e5. Let me continue the game a little bit. Now, knight a7 coming to b5, bishop d3 played, and knight b5, right? At some point, that knight could come to d4. So that's a great idea. And now, in this position, we'll move 28. This is the critical moment number 2 in the game. What would you play here with the white pieces? And here, once again, Carlsen doesn't win with a direct attack, with sacrifices, but slowly but surely is taking the upper hand in this game. And here, he played bishop b1. So I was thinking maybe he could play rook g4, that would be an interesting idea, or maybe, I don't know, rook e1, that would be another idea, but no, he does bishop b1. And what is the idea? Let's say that black waits. Now you do queen c2. You have the battery, right? Like that, threatening checkmate. g6 is forced. And now h5. We're threatening to take, and black cannot take because we deliver checkmate. So in this position, Ivanchuk play h5. And that's because he doesn't want white to threaten h5. So let me just show you another example. Right? Let's say that he plays rook d7. Then I do queen c2, g6, once again h5. So here, after bishop b1, h5 played. But we can see that the drawback of h6, h5 is to weaken that square, right? That's very obvious to me. Then you could even consider bishop g5. Oh, sorry, you don't have a bishop there, but you could consider knight g5, but e5 is hanging. So here, rook e1, right? So you may say, why not like queen c2? Well, g6, and now you don't have that push here with the white pieces. All right, so h5, rook e1, let's continue the game, queen c2, g6, and here, little move, bishop a2. With the threat, queen takes g6 because of the pin. So king g7 played, and now we secured e5. We have a very nice bishop over here. So next move, knight g5, play after 4 minutes. Now you may say, why is in this position Magnus spending 4 minutes to play knight g5? Because he also had to consider this move, and the rook swings here with a lot of pressure, and h4, h5. So you can see that there's a lot of option now for white. Now the game continues, and here, after all this prep, Magnus goes for the kill by pushing e6. f6 played. Do we move that knight? No. We play bishop b1. Once again, the theme of this game is this battery over here. Now, if Ivanchuk were to take, it would be doomed on the queen side. Because here, rook e5 on the king side, Even if you do that, boom. And then you have the rook swinging here with some checkmate idea. Let me demonstrate. Black can try to defend. I come here and here, simply crashing through. And you can see we have a beautiful checkmate. So clearly in this position, Black cannot afford to have his kingside destroyed. So in this position, Ivanchuk correctly decide not to take, but to close the position with f5. And now it's a position which is very superior for white. This is about the technique. I'll go quickly because little by little the pressure is being increased. And here again, black is trying to defend, but before attack that rook on c5, and the end is near. So the game continues. Here black tried to give a pawns, queen e4, and black resign. That was a bit early because here you can try to do king g8, then knight f7 would come in, or you can try rook c7, and here you have to continue to play. So I'm pretty sure other players would have played this position, but clearly here with rook ac1 coming, knight f7 coming, e7 at some point, this is all winning for white. At any rate, queen e4, Ivanchuk has enough, and he's going to try to come back with a win tomorrow with the white pieces. So there was a fairly long video, but I wanted to show how Magnus is at the peak of its form right now with h4, rook c1, another great idea, a4 pushing through, rook lift, and eventually this beautiful idea of bishop b1, queen g3, and coming through the attack on the king side. So I hope you enjoyed this video combining strategy and tactics, and let's see if Ivanchuk can put a comeback. But to me, Magnus is a favorite in the World Cup. Hikaru is out. Yes, there are Caruana and other players, but if Magnus continues like that, he may win for the first time the FIDE World Cup. I see you in the next one.